Welcome, I'm Dr. Janine Bowring, naturopathic doctor, and today I'm sharing 9 tips how to drink the healthiest water. So tip number 1 is to start with the best quality water that is available to you. So whether that's spring water, I go through and break down the different types of water, reverse osmosis, in another video so you can sort of give and see the breakdown, some of the pros and cons of all the different types of water that are available to most people, but it really does depend on so many factors as to where you live and what is affordable for you. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you drink it in glass. So always having glass as the vessel, making sure that if it is purchased that it is in glass. If you can find it, that is definitely better than the plastics. We know that there's so many health compromising issues with drinking from plastic and plastics in our environment that, limiting that plastic exposure is definitely better for your health. Tip number 3 is to swirl the water. So there's something called the structuring of water, which has been very well researched, and it's something that you can do with either creating a vortex for your water. When I actually pour my reverse osmosis water into my glass, I try to make it form a vortex as it's coming out of the actual tap, but adding that energy, some people say to shake the water as well, is another way to help to structure the water. So try to swirl it, try to form a vortex. That's what happens in nature, in natural streams. You'll notice that vortexes do form, and that helps to structure and give more health benefits to your water. Tip number 4 is to actually freeze your water. So there's something called deuterium. Again, I will be talking at length about this in other videos that you can really check out and learn more about deuterium, but there's this whole thing about depleting the deuterium in the water. So what I like to do is I will get a glass container, so whether it's this mason jar mug or I have the big food containers that are, and this is how I do it at home, is a bigger glass food container, and you put that in the freezer. So the deuterium itself has a freezing point, and it will freeze more quickly than the less deuterium in the water. And deuterium is heavy water, and it will freeze more quickly. So all you do is you put your glass container in your freezer, and you'll notice the first part that freezes will be a little bit higher in the deuterium. So this is sort of a at-home hack for depleting some of the deuterium. So what I do, and you have to watch this because if you leave it in your freezer for too long, the whole thing will freeze, and that's not what you want, because then it won't be usable. So here we go. You can see on the top I have my ice layer, and it is water underneath. So that heavier water, the deuterium water, which I don't want, is on top. All I do is I pierce through that with a knife until I can access my water underneath, and then I pour that water into my glass, as we can see here. And then of course always drinking from water, and now this is slightly less in the deuterium as compared to that heavier water, which is the ice that formed first. So, and then I would discard this water. Now I could redo this process. So then I could freeze this again and do this 3 or 4 or more times. I usually only do it 1 to 2 times, to be honest. And then I do my tip number 5, which is to put the water out into the sun. So the sun has those great natural photons, the different wavelengths of light. So the red, the infrared, and the UV. Put your water out into the sun to help to structure that water and really help to increase the EZ. So this is the 4th phase of water, and really has a great impact on the quality of that water for when you ingest it. Tip number 6 is you can use magnets and crystals as well. So here's another thing. Now I have a special water bottle, something that I showed in my show, on the Dr. Janine show, the water bottle that my daughter bought for me, which is great. It has crystals in the bottom, and that's where I'll put my deuterium depleted water that I've done in my freezer into my water bottle, and I swear it tastes better. There's just something about the water. It actually, I can perceive the difference. But what you can also do at home if you've got some crystals is, of course, keeping good care of your crystals, putting them out in the moonlight and washing them once in a while, keeping them in the sun as well will help to recharge your crystals and get any sort of negative energy off of them. I'm all about talking about energy as well, and the mind-body connection protection, but also you can put them around your water before you drink it to help to charge that water as well. Tip number 7 is to use classical music. So this is something that was studied by Masaru Emoto. So if we take a look at some of his work and the structuring of water, what he found was that by playing classical music, it helped to form this beautiful crystals and the structured water. But when he was inundating that water with some more aggressive types of music, then the water became very disordered. So we can definitely have an effect on the crystallization, the formation of that easy water, and the proper structure of that water by playing classical music around the water. Tip number 8 is to flavor your water as necessary so that you drink enough of it. So a lot of people are dehydrated. I have all of the signs and symptoms of dehydration and not drinking enough water in another video, so we'll put those links below so you can check that out as well. But drinking enough is important. So if you don't like the taste and the flavor of water. Now maybe that might change after you start to do some of these things in terms of drinking just water plain on its own, but you can flavor it as well. So putting some fruits in the water, maybe cucumber slices. Some people like watermelon or different berries. Other people like to add some drops, so some sweetened drops, usually with stevia or monk fruit. Just make sure that those drops are a clean product, that there's no other hidden ingredients in those drops, and natural colors as well. So you don't want to go with, you know, things with sucralose and other artificial sweeteners, because this can have a negative impact on your microbiome. So keep it very natural, but that's another way to ensure, like lemon slices is great, which you saw in my water that I make at home for the kids and for the family. Is I slice my lemon into that glass vessel. It's the structured water, and I put it out in the sun, and I enjoy that. So that is something that you can do definitely in the summer months if you do have that great sunlight exposure, and, you know, making sure that you're drinking enough of it. If it's flavored, you'll probably drink more. And tip number 9 is to pray or meditate over the water as well. So we know that that structuring of the water, forming those proper crystals, increasing the EZ in the water, that 4th phase of water, is definitely having a positive impact on our health. So that was it, my 9 tips how to drink the healthiest water. I hope that you put these tips into practice. I'd love to hear from you, so please drop a comment below if you've got a question as well. I'd love to hear from you, and be sure to share this video as well. Please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, welcome in. I hope that you'll subscribe. Click that bell to turn on those notifications so you always get my newest and latest uploads. And remember to always take good care of your health and do it naturally. Thanks for watching today.